Actually, that would have been a good idea.
If you guys want to start lining up for questions,
Not all at once. Don't go crazy.
I guess I'll start with, what are you guys up to now?
Oh, Jackie. Well, last night we had fabulous steak dinner.
Oh my gosh.
And then karaoke.
Which I've never seen Claire shine quite as brightly.
It was a fun evening. Let's see. I have a movie coming out called The Dead Ones. It's a Sixth Sense type movie. It should be coming out this fall, though they pushed the release date a couple times. And I have a new movie that came out in the theaters last year on a limited release, and now it's in Redbox, and it should be a blockbuster at the end of the month, called Endure. It's a kidnapping movie. Completely different character for me. I play like the complete victim. I'm kidnapped the whole movie, tied to a tree, and like look really different. So it's an uplifting movie. Definitely a date night. And then I have a series called Goodnight Burbank that is available on Hulu, a web series. So, and then of course I'm working on a couple other little projects, but nothing that I can really talk about yet because nothing's, you know how it is, nothing's set in stone. So we'll knock on wood that next time I see you guys, I'll have more things to say about that.
I guess you have recently released on DVD is a movie I did called 12 and another one called Dark Real. You guys can check those out. And kind of like Claire, I'm in talks to do a pilot with Ron Perlman, so that could be really exciting, but we'll see what happens. You never know, so. That's it.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Thank you both for being here. And my question is, with Harmony's character, did you like it being so vapid and aloof? Was it real fun? Or did you like try to fight to get that more intelligence into her?
Well, she couldn't really be intelligent because we'd already set a precedent for character, so it would be like weird if all of a sudden she was a genius or something. So we kind of just rode the wave of her being vapid and kind of more the funny, kind of lighthearted character. And then it helped like with Angel in season 5 especially. They said, once Christmas' character was no longer that they needed something to make it light again because Christmas had a lot of the jokes. And I think she was a little dim-witted herself, so they needed somebody to kind of lighten the show up. So that's kind of what my character was there for. So it was nice to be different than everybody else and also have the,
You definitely stole a lot of the episodes. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So, when did you first find out that Harmony was going to through the change into the vampire? What were your thoughts when you first read that?
Well, I just read, at the end of graduation from the script that I just got bitten by some random vampire. I was like, that's not good. I had no idea that I was coming back at all, so I was kind of disappointed, to be honest. And it wasn't until, after hiatus, that was the last episode, so we went on 3 months hiatus, and no one said anything, so I thought that was just it for me, so I just carried on with my little life. And then it wasn't until the first episode of the, 4th season, that I knew that this was going to be something that was awesome for me. So, it turned out for the better, but for a couple months hiatus, it was fun, I guess.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about working on Buffy and Angel is you never really knew where the storyline was going. They did
never be back.
Yeah, or if you'd ever be back one episode to the next. They didn't really reveal that much, and I don't think it was so much that they didn't want to reveal. I think that they were kind of like seeing what the audience responded to and taking direction, in that way as well. So it was always, you flip to the end of a script like, do I live? Do I die? Am I back? What's happening? Go ahead.
She actually asked my original question. So just, in general, can you give us some experiences about working with Joss and, any great stories? And, he's such an inspirational person. I'm just curious as to you guys' relationship with him.
The great thing about Joss is he's an artist, he's a true artist, he's a creator, and he affects, not just the writing, but the directing and the casting and everything, obviously. So he's created this brand for himself that, has been sort of the through line for the past, 15 years of his career. He's amazing to work for. Everybody always asks, oh, would you want to work for him again? Well, yeah, of course. We would love to, because you don't meet that many creatives that really have a handle on all aspects of, you know, producing content. So he's awesome.
Yeah. And he'd always just like throw out 1,000 different ideas of what may or may not be happening to your character. It's like I couldn't even think of one of those, let alone all these different avenues of what could be happening. It's like this labyrinth of ideas that his brain has. It was really inspiring.
For a lot of us, Harmony and Glory were the really fun characters of Angel and Buffy. Always good for a laugh. But I've got two questions. First is from Mercedes, and that's from my better half, who would want to know whether you have ever visited your father's old stamping ground in Arsenal. He knows everything about football. I know nothing, but that's from him.
Okay, yeah, actually I've gone to a couple games with my dad. Recently I just went to one in November, so I go quite often, but I have never actually been to Wembley Stadium before they tore it down, unfortunately.
Right. Have you been to the new Emirates Stadium?
Yeah, I have, and it's incredible, but I would kind of like I wanted to see the old school one where my dad actually played, and then when, my dad was a famous football player, maybe I'm just so, you know what we're talking about. Sorry, fill you in here, but so yeah, so I've definitely gone and supported his team.
And the other one is really for Claire,
Okay.
because you've shown entrepreneurial skills. I hate the Hollywood system. I wondered whether you'd ever thought of setting up something like United Artists or something which would get more power back into the hands of the writers and stars rather than the money men.
Absolutely. I mean, as I progressed through my career, I definitely, you know, I mean, there's two different sides of it. There is the business side of our craft, and then there's also the artistic side. And to be successful and to have longevity, you have to really figure out how to marry those two aspects of, you know, being an artist. So as I spend more and more time in the business, I, you know, see opportunities to make that happen. But I think that, you know, in the next 5 years, definitely, I'll be trying to create a situation, kind of like Judd Apatow has, or, you know, even Quentin Tarantino, where they have a core group of people they work with. They, you know, everyone from a DP, you know, director of photography, to a producing team, to a set design team, and they just go project to project. And I mean, ultimately, that would be my vision in the next 5 to 10 years, to be able to set up a situation like that, where we were all, you know, passionate about the content we were doing, whether it was written by one of us or, you know, came from an outside source, but just to move together as a team. I think that ultimately people want to work with their friends, people want to work with people they trust, and it's not so much about taking the power away from other people, but creating a situation where you're in control of, you know, the artistic side, and also can benefit from the success of a project. Whereas, you know, kind of in our position, we don't really, you know, we do, of course we benefit. We get great residuals, we, you know, get great pay, but when you really break it down, we're, you know, not seeing anything that the studios are. So it's there's definitely something there, and hopefully I'll figure it out in the next 10 years.
Well, I really look forward to it, because I hate the fact that it's the accountants who decide which shows stay on television and which don't.
Yes, no, well, but that's the great thing about the internet and web series, and people are just now starting to figure out how to make that profitable. I think it took like people seeing something like The Guild, which obviously the first season Felicia had zero money, you know, and it wasn't until almost the end of the second season that she made a partnership with, I think it was Xbox, and was able to start kind of, you know, paying her crew, paying her actors, and now they're in their 5th season. They just wrapped their 5th season, and they have a great situation. But that's the exciting thing about the internet is there is an opportunity there for all of us to create content, and, you know, 1/100th of the cost that it would to create an hour episode on for TV.
Well, more strength to your elbow.
Thank you.
This one's actually for Claire. I'm a big Glory fan. She's my favorite, big fan from the whole Buffy universe.
Thank you.
So what was it like to kind of, at one time, be this really girly, shopping for dress, shopping for clothes, and then in the next scene, you're beating the hell out of Sarah Michelle Gellar? How much fun was that to kind of go back and forth between those two things?
The thing that was so great about Glory, you know, everyone always thinks of a character like that as, oh, she was evil, oh, she was powerful, but when you're playing someone like that, you don't view it that way. you only view the person from, you know, your own perspective. As an actor, you can't think of how other people are going to view your character. You just have to create, you know, organic, you know, feelings and emotions. So she was absolutely so much fun because everything she did was just completely natural, no hold barred, whether it was shopping, her passion for fashion, or whether it was, you know, kicking someone's ass to to try to find, you know, the key, which obviously she was in a quest for to take her back to her home. I mean, she just didn't, it was equal to her. Shopping and beating someone up, there was no different emotion for either of those things. You know, it was the equal passion, kind of the even keel, I don't know. Yeah, everything with the same importance in a way. Yeah, unless of course she was sick and needing to suck a brain.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi.
This is for Claire also.
Okay.
When they auctioned off the props after the show, I bought Olaf's hammer. I actually met you, I think, at a Balkan a few years
Oh
ago.
yeah. Oh my gosh, somebody was talking about that hammer yesterday.
Oh,
And they're
really?
like, oh, I bid on it and I didn't win it. And
It got
okay.
expensive. Yeah, I'm very glad I have it.
Oh, yay.
So I'm wondering if you had any stories to share about that scene or these scenes.
Well, the funniest thing about the hammer, as you now know, since you're in possession of it, is it's not very heavy. So I was like, at the end of this, you know, pinnacle, climactic, you know, season arc where it's the 100th episode and possibly the end of the series. I think everybody knows that people thought the 5th season may be the end, and so that's why they did this big climactic thing. You know, and here they come all season. Nobody's been able to figure out how to kill me or maim me, and then they, you know, props brings out this like foam hammer, and I'm like, are you kidding? Like this is what's gonna end glory. Like I had, you know, the wrecking ball didn't do a thing, you know. So it was just really funny because we tried to make it seem very, you know, heavy, and you know, dangerous and everything, and really it was like a piece of foam. So that's probably the funniest thing about the hammer that I, you know, and aside from the fact that I was like, a troll hammer, like really, guys, fun. But in the end, I'm happy with how it happened.
Okay, love you both.
Oh yay! Do you have the hammer here?
No.
Oh bummer. Okay. Well, I'm glad you have it.